All right, Kiss Army, welcome to the KissFAQ Podcast. Thank you for giving us your time today and letting us into your head. I hope we don't do any damage. This is a Kiss-related podcast by the board, for the board. We hope that you enjoy. Welcome to episode 416 of the KissFAQ Podcast. I'm your host, Julian Gill. Today, it's Daniel. Hi, Daniel.
Hi there. Hi.
And Ken, 69th Blizzard.
Hello.
Hi, Ken. How's everyone doing?
Doing good.
Good. So let's jump straight into this because there's a hot topic on the board that's generating heat. And it's one of those unfortunate things where I hope Doc is just flapping his gums and, responding to an answer on Vinyl Rider Music. He did an interview with Andrew Daly. And the quote is this. McGee stated, "Honestly, I don't know whether any former members of the band are going to join Kiss, that is, for the final show." And he continues, "You can invite them, but they may not come. They may come, they may not come, and we might not invite them." What the fuck? Talk about going around in a logical circle straight to get with. I mean, that's like a politician answer that says everything and nothing while insulting your audience. He continues, "We've talked to them and we've talked about it. Well, we don't talk to Peter, but we do talk to Ace. We haven't talked to Peter in a long time." So you haven't talked to them. You haven't offered them, in other words. And this is where I start getting triggered. But you know something? They were a part of it. They aided, original founding members aided in the starting of this band, and they should be a part of the end of this. They started this, so in some ways, they should be able to share that spotlight on the way out. Now, regardless of it, if it happens or not, you're not going to get 6 guys up there in makeup. That's not going to happen. So this has set off the usual sort of shitstorm. I mean, we've been hearing for 3 years that they invited former members to join them on stage. So now that turns out not to be the case, right, Doc? So everything that you've said before is bullshit, that they've been invited. And we're now into 2022, where we're past what should have been the final show for the band, and you've not sent out invitations to the former members, and you have no fucking clue how you're ending this thing. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, Doc. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? How do you actually send out an invite for a party and not send an invite, and maybe you're not going to send an invite? Do you actually expect anyone to believe that drivel? Ken, what's your take on this before I go completely red-faced and pass out? And you're
muted, Ken.
So you're going to have to
the
start
most
that
common
again.
line
Oh
on
my
any
God.
KissFAQ podcast.
Yeah, it's a confusing statement. It kind of goes around and about to tell us nothing. But yeah, I mean, he says some may be invited, so well, maybe they did invite some, but then it's some they didn't. But who? Maybe does that mean they didn't invite all of them, or just some of them? Maybe I'm guessing what they said is probably not Vinny. I don't know about Peter Criss either. So I don't understand. They advertised the end of the road tour as they're going to bring out people. I mean, that was 2 years ago now. So why the heck they even talking about it now? It's either you invited them or you didn't invite them, or just tell us what's going on. And as I was thinking more, and I think I wrote on that thread that it's probably the only way now is they're never going to get all of them on stage, obviously. I don't think, unless there's some miracle, but have them all perform or as part of a show. I think the only thing that is possible, which is probably also not possible, I'd say impossible, not possible, is after it's the end of the road is done, they do like 3 other shows, but with just the originals, and try to make money. Otherwise, there's not going to be one last huge show. It makes no sense if you're going to have nobody there, at the party, I guess. It's either you have them and you can do it. If you're not going to do it, then the only other way to have a big blowout is the original guys for 1 to 3 shows in either the same location or different locations, something like that. Otherwise, it doesn't look good. The whole thing may just fizzle out.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to get triggered again in between going to Daniel, and I'm just going to say this. The original lineup played its farewell on October the 7th, 2000. Ace and Peter, for that 5-year contract that they signed with Gene and Paul, gave them 23 additional fucking years of cash. And I'm good with that. The farewell tour is good enough for me, because this is a very odd way of conducting negotiations if they're trying to even do anything. And to me, that sort of statement is that they're not trying to do a single thing other than string the fans along for as long as possible and to milk the tour as long as possible. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've gone to plenty of legs of the tour myself and have enjoyed the living shit out of it. Daniel, your take on what Doc had to say or not say?
Well, personally, I don't see it happening. I don't see any former members going up on stage without makeup, and there's just no way they can compete with the current lineup. I mean, it's such a well-oiled machine at this point of time. The tour is making a lot of money, at least here in Scandinavia. They are selling out right and left. People are going nuts. I was at a show this weekend, and there are everything from 10-year-old kids to people our age, and I don't know, because Paul and Gene are, at this point in time, I think the money is the important thing for them. They want to get a solid amount of money to go into retirement, and it would just look weird having people without makeup on stage. So I'd like them to continue as they do, and then after the tour ends, they could do a show, or they can do a concert where people would pay homage to Kiss. You would have Stone Temple Pilots, I don't know, Megadeth, Metallica, bands like that playing Kiss songs, and then they would put Peter, Ace, Paul, and Gene in the audience, much like they did on that show on MTV called Icons, I think. I just watched that Metallica documentary once again, and they were honored by MTV, and they did the Icons thing. I think that was a great show where they were just sitting, and the young band, or not so young bands at this point in time, but other bands were paying homage to the big boys. So that's what I would like to see. Just seeing them sitting next to each other, having a laugh, enjoying the music, and having other bands paying homage to them. There's just no reason for Ace Frehley to mess up Cold Gin on stage without makeup next to Tommy Thayer. I think it wouldn't be a high point. It would be like a low point. It wouldn't be a great way of ending things.
Yeah, come on. Ace has thrown himself on his knees and participated in vaults willingly, gone on the cruise, basically said that he's ready anytime, anywhere. He's taken on Gene's solo band as his backing band. How many times has he shared the stage with them on the farewell tour to date? What about Bruce? How many times has he shared the stage with them? 0. It's bullshit. All of it's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's stringing them along. It's absolutely stringing everyone along at this point. And you know what? You raise a really good point. They're doing fine without them. We had the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the 4 original members, not in makeup, because they couldn't get shit together for that either. And you know what? That was also fine. the 4 originals getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, for what that's worth, they were there. They were all there. They were together on stage. They gave their speeches. They acknowledged and honored one another in being part of something, But for Doc to say, to intimate that it didn't take the 4 to create the magic. Sorry if I triggered anyone saying that word. That is the originals lineup. Without the originals, there is no me becoming a Kiss fan. There is no today. There is nothing. That core canon of the catalog is all down to those 4. And even though you might say, well, he didn't do this, or they were equal partners in that. So, they've just done, South America, 27,000 in Santiago, Chile, over 2 days. 17,000 in Porto Alegre, Brazil, 18,000 in how the fuck do you say it? Curitiba or whatever, Brazil. Sao Paulo, 45,000. That's impressive, and I'm happy to have seen those audiences, to see those box scores, and for Daniel to say 30,000 at Tele2 in Stockholm recently. Where's this other Brazil date? 21,000. Lima, 13,000. These are all way more than any attendance has been in the United States for quite a while. It's definitely on the B market, C market side of things now. Daniel, you're going to say something.
You just mentioned magic. If you haven't got a good Kiss book lately, you should get this one. Oh, by the way, it's in Swedish. So you need to learn Swedish first. The third one, the trilogy. I'm hoping for, how do you say it in English? Tetralogy. 4-piece thing. Tetralogy, I think, something like that. But this is the third piece from Carl and Alex. A real great book that I read just before I went to Stockholm and saw the band. So this is a great piece of material. So you need to go and get that.
Yeah, so let me ask you, for those of us who don't speak Swedish, are we missing anything?
Yeah, I think you are. If you flicker through this book, you'll find some new information. There's a lot of chapters and a lot of new interviews. It looks like this, and like the third chapter is called Disco Inferno, and there's an extensive interview with Vinnie Poncia with some new information that you guys don't know about, and they go deep into some of the making of. This is actually focusing on Dynasty and Unmasked, so they're going deep into deep into those 2 albums, and they have a lot of interviews with what are they called, sound technicians and producers and all kinds of guys. And for example,
run through some of the names of who's in there. Jay Messina.
I'm so bad with these names, but Gerard McMahon or something like that.
Yeah, so the co-writer he was of Is
the guy.
That You?
Yeah, exactly. Pepe Castro.
Yeah, co-writer of Naked City.
Yeah, so a lot of those guys. Crazy Joe Renda.
Yeah, who Ace worked with in 1980. Yeah. John Reagan was his bass player.
Very good, Julian. You know your Kiss, and
I'm winning the quiz.
You're winning the quiz.
Yeah.
For once. Yep. It's just a all-around great book, and a lot of work and love went into this project, and I'm convinced that they will do a 4th book just in order to let us fans get 4 posters.
Well, the first book was. Yeah. Tell us about the other 2 books. Where do they fit in terms of the chronology? So that one covers Creature's Era, correct?
No, this is more like a personal book. Their own. This is actually the first one who is like a chronological book covering an era. These are more personal. They're personal stories, but this one is very interesting as well. Certainly for for a Swedish Kiss fan, because it could be my story as well. It follows the same pattern. They're about my age, and we became fans because of the same things, and we watched the same thing. So it's a real cool book. This one is more of the same, but a bit weaker than the first one. Actually, I would say the third one is the best one.
Yeah.
So they've topped themselves. And
getting
true
Vinny
Kiss-
getting Vinny Poncia is a massive I cannot stress how big a deal that is. That is absolutely massive.
Yeah, you know, they gained respect from the band as well. Gene always asks them for the books. Now in Gothenburg, they played actually last night for a sold out crowd there, and Gene was very happy to get the third book. He was looking forward to it, and I don't know, it's on the KissFAQ. The other guy who wrote these
Alex.
books, Alex, he got to ask the first question at the sound check. And then they played Let Me Know because he wanted that. So they're certainly aware of these books, but they haven't stopped them as they have done with some other projects. Yep. So and of course, the elephant in the room. Why aren't they releasing these in English? Why aren't they? Well, the only reason I've seen, I think it was Carl that said it's just not. They don't make any money. I don't know how, but they make money when they write these in Swedish, but the English versions don't do well enough. So that's why. That's the only. He said that in an interview that I read. So I don't know, but they're fascinating books, real well written. He's a good author, this Carl Linnaeus.
Yeah, Carl has a great writing style. There's no doubt about it. And as an interviewer, he knows the questions to ask for the ones that I've translated for my own reading edification. So these guys aren't schmucks. They know exactly what they're doing. And while I'm not particularly interested in their personal stories in the other two, because my context is completely different than that of a Scandinavian Kiss fan, that one, and also the first book that Carl did, I can't remember the name of the title of it, but I think
I know which one you mean.
Lou Lynette in it as well. Those would add to the canon of Kiss research in terms of talking to the people who've been involved in this story. So I understand doing it for your own market. Again, another book has just come out for Kiss in Argentina. That's in Spanish. Now, those people who can read Spanish, well, sure, you can get a copy. A lot of people can't.
But this is so well written, and you have interviews with main guys. So this would be something that people around the world would like to read, I think.
Right, but think of all the books that are written in English that Swedish fans who don't speak English haven't been able to read, or German fans, or Japanese fans. So it doesn't always have to be in English.
No, that's true. That's true. But I just want to give them a shout out. Great book once again, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, I'd love to know what they're going to do for the next one. I mean, I'm interested as kind of an owl watching, even though I can't read in, Swedish. Speaking
about books, we need to know the latest on your book, Julian, as well.
Which one?
Which one? I'm thinking about that 1980 book.
Kissteria?
Oh, yeah, who knows? I'm working on it. Who knows?
You know.
Yeah, what I'm working on is the demo right now, and what have I been working on? Well, I've just got, like I think I mentioned in one of the episodes, the 80 contract. Still working my way through that and where it fits into the story. Still working on February 1980, and what was I working on today? The Dynasty show. So showing the Billy Crystal interview with them from where was it? It was somewhere in California. Can't remember off the top of my head. That part, it was aired, I think, February the 12th or 13th, depending on your market. So just got a copy of the TV guide with the listing in it. So that's where I am. Again, where I see it at when I'm done putting it together. I just gave up with InDesign again. I can't fucking deal with that goddamn program. I will definitely need a pro designer to transform it into something. I watched a 4-hour tutorial on InDesign, and it still didn't make it any easier.
That's bad.
Yeah, no, I'm too old for that shit. I need someone who can, if it even gets to that stage, can hit the ground running, fishing for a few interviews. So again, it's always a work in progress until it becomes a reality. And if it becomes a reality, it does. If not, it's just a nice little project to keep me busy. You know, give me a break from Aerosmith. Nice poster.
Yeah, that's the one that's included in this one.
All right, enough about books.
Yeah.
So you went to a Kiss show.
Oh yeah. I went to Tele2 Arena in Stockholm. 30,000 capacity. Just about sold out. I looked around. There weren't many seats that were available. So they played for almost 30. It's an indoor arena. I think it's the first time I've seen Kiss indoors.
Oh, really?
And my gosh, do the effects come into play? I mean, I knew I was going to have a good time, but I didn't know I was going to have this good of a time. I mean, it was perfectly awesome. And the band.
When was the last time that you saw them, by the way?
I think I saw them in Norway. What is it now? 2019. But this was way better. That was an outdoor show, and right now, today is midsummer, so there's no darkness. There's light all around. It never gets dark. So that's the problem with shows in the summer in Scandinavia outdoors. You hear a bang, but you don't see the effect.
Mm-hmm.
But this new arena in Stockholm, it was a great arena, and I was just blown away. I think it was one of my top experiences ever with Kiss. I didn't expect that. I thought they were kind of, slow and robotic when I saw them in Trondheim in Norway a few years ago. But this was a way better show, and they were in good spirits, joking around, playing off each other. Gene making jokes to Paul, and Paul doing his stuff with Gene, and even Eric doing some stuff during Beth that was kind of funny. And the audience was an awesome audience. They were really into the show, and I almost felt bad for the 10-year-olds that were there. There were quite a few kids there. Seeing this, such an impressive show, such a great concert, and then never be able to see it again, never be able to buy a new record, never be able to look forward to something. Maybe they should take a piece out of the book of ABBA. They have been touring with holograms. We'll see what happens in the future, but and the set list, the same old, but that was actually what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear Cold Gin. I wanted to hear Tears Are Falling, Heaven's on Fire, Lick It Up, God of Thunder. God of Thunder was a real good one. War Machine as well. Psycho Circus and that song from Sonic Boom. Yeah. What's it called? Say Yeah. Yeah. I could do without those two, but the rest was like 10 out of 10 stars. And I was actually the person who I was there with. She said, "Paul Stanley is 70. Are you sure? Is that his stunt double over there that's doing the jumps and So and then of course I was looking for the Paul Stanley doing the playback singing, so to speak. I couldn't spot him once missing the playback. I mean, once upon a time he was one of the best singers, now he's one of the best. I don't know what you call it, but mimics.
Entertainers.
Entertainers. He's one of the best entertainers. He didn't miss a cue. It wasn't obvious at all. I didn't even see once he missed, moving his mouth the correct way. So you couldn't know. If you're not a diehard like us, you would never know he was having some help. So all in all, it's an awesome concert, great crowd, big crowd as well. I mean, almost 30,000 people. And I also have to give props to the opening act. I was lucky once again, because a few episodes back we talked about, I guess it was in the beginning of the year, we talked about what bands we liked from 2021, and I mentioned one band called Nestor, and they were the opening act. So I was very lucky there. So, and they got the crowd going as well. So it was a great crowd, a really good crowd. I almost felt like I was in South America, So I'll give it 10 out of 10. I was totally blown away, and I didn't feel any sadness. It was more like the way to end it, and I didn't miss Bruce or Ace coming in and doing something without makeup. I felt it was the perfect ending for me. It was almost on the day 25 years since I saw the band for the first time. So it's been a couple of years. So if you have the chance, go and watch them. I mean, you won't regret it.
Yeah. So you've got a couple of pieces of video to share with us today. Why don't you tell us about the first clip?
I don't know which the first clip is, but
pick one and I'll make it the first clip.
Okay, the first clip. One of my favorite songs of all time is probably God of Thunder, and I like it live as well. It's one of the heavier songs, so I thought I have to film at least the beginning of God of Thunder. I'm not one of the guys who stands with the camera all the time. I want to enjoy the show, but I need to, preserve this for my later years. I can go back and watch this. So that's one of the clips.
Oh yeah!
Yeah!
Oh yeah!
Yeah!
Oh yeah!
Yeah! All right.
Well, all right.
Yeah! Hey!
I like it. Let's go.
Come on!
and then of course Rock and Roll Night. You have to film that. I don't know what they were thinking. I thought Lonnie was going to be on this show, but I guess he had to work. Well, I don't know what we were talking about. Yeah, we were talking about what I filmed. I filmed a bit of Rock and Roll Night, of course, and I don't know what they were thinking when they were playing Rock and Roll Night in the middle of the set during the Revenge tour. It's the perfect way to end a concert, and it was just insane. You know, with all I looked up and saw where is everything coming from? So I looked up and I saw some guys. They had some like stairs this way instead of that way, and people, you know, crawling around and moving balloons out to the sides and the confetti everywhere, and it was just insane. It was awesome. And then I filmed a little bit. I made sure I was standing next to where Paul was coming out, you know, during Love Gun. I feel the sound is always good out there. You know, you're kind of in the middle of the floor, and you get to see Paul up close. So I filmed a bit of Love Gun as well, and a bit of Heavens on Fire, because that's the song that started it all for me. So I got a nice collection of songs that I can go back and watch. I still go back and watch, like when I saw the Gene Simmons show. I think it's a great way of preserving the memories. I feel video is so much stronger than photos. I mean, you get the feel, you hear the sounds and everything. So I try to make a
and you're back in the perspective that you were standing for the concert. So that picture is exactly where you were. I don't film much now. You know, as Ken and I enjoyed that front row experience in wherever it was. Where was it? That was Oakland.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It was Oakland. Yeah.
Oakland.
Yeah, and then of course Rock and Roll All Night is just an awesome ender, and I'm so glad I got to experience that from backstage or side backstage in Sacramento in 2019, because being back there and looking out at the audience,
yeah,
from the side and having all the shit going off right above our heads, completely different perspective. And they're the cherry pickers that they were doing at the time, watching you know, Tommy and Gene and Paul. Oh, there's Paul.
Oh yeah.
Completely, you know, really, really cool.
And they added a few. They added a few props for the show. You know, you have seen those statues that they have on stage. They look pretty cool. A bit, you know, bigger than they are in actual life, but it doesn't really matter. They did that back in '96, if you remember the ones the inflatable ones that were.
These ones look better.
These one looks way better, and I like the way they didn't have any, you know, they had like white eyes, look kind of mean, and I think it looked cool. And the cats that they had on stage were pretty cool as well. So I think the stage looked really cool, and they had big on the sides. They had big "Kiss My Army," I don't know, posters or at the sides.
The huge banners.
Banners. Yeah, exactly. Looked really cool.
No,
so,
it's cool, and you know they're going to be on tour for the next month in Europe. You know, a couple dates in Germany coming up. So if you're on the fence, get off the fence, because it is still a good show. You know, wherever you are in your personal history. Hopefully, I remember to edit out some of that political shit, because otherwise we'll have lots of comments this episode. Why don't we move into what is, I guess, kind of our main topic this week? It'll give Ken a chance to chime in. Sorry, Ken.
That's all right. I'm just listening.
Greg, who was it? Greg Prado?
Recently
did a piece for allmusic.com talking about the 5 most overlooked Kiss album tracks. Now, of course, with any of these kinds of things, it always comes from a personal experience. So we figured it'd be a good opportunity to discuss what are the 5 most overlooked Kiss album tracks in your opinion, Ken.
Yes.
Do we do one at a time, or how do you do it?
Yeah, let's just go around. And whoever's got Lonnie's list open can chime in with that.
Or did Lonnie actually send his list?
Okay, that'll be me then. Wait,
Okay.
no, Ken, you read Lonnie's list. How about that? Because I talk too much anyway.
Okay. Where is it? Do you put it on Facebook?
Facebook.
Okay.
Okay, Ken, we'll wait for Ken to get ready here.
I'm at it. But in the meantime, do you want to tell them what Greg Prado chose as his?
Yeah, do that.
Well, I didn't read his article. I only took his topic.
Oh my God!
I think he had Magic Touch.
All right, no, I have to disable my ad blocker.
I
Hold on. All right, Greg, let's give All Music some. All right, so he picked. Actually, we shouldn't tell anyone because they should go to allmusic.com and read the damn thing. All right, Strange Ways. I think that's a good pick. Mr. Speed. That's just way too predictable, in my opinion. Larger Than Life. Something off Alive too. There we go.
Good pick.
Wait, what did you say about Peter Criss? Okay. Just checking. Magic Touch. Dynasty. And Not for the Innocent. I'll look it up. I'm sure Ken will approve of that. So, good picks, Greg.
Yes.
Ken, why don't you get us started with one of Lonnie's and then one of yours?
Okay, I'll pick the first one on Lonnie's list. He picked, I guess, like Mr. Prado.
Read Your Body? Read My Body? Is that what he went with?
Mr. Speed. He went with Mr. Speed as his first pick, which, it's pretty obvious. It's kind of that hidden gem on Rock and Roll Over. So I understand it. I almost even picked it myself, but I did not. So should I go with my list now, my first pick?
Why didn't you?
Because kind of like what you said is it's kind of in a way an obvious one, and maybe I played it too many times. That's very possible. I mean, that's probably the reason. So that's the reason I didn't really pick it.
I think on the board there was kind of a general consensus of the songs that haven't regularly been performed from Rock and Roll Over. It's kind of the only one that would be worthy of being performed. And then when everyone begged for it, it was underwhelming when it was performed.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. That's true. It maybe didn't work as well live as we'd expect it to.
Yeah, you spend years and years and years begging for them to do the song, voting for it. Just like All American Man was voted on to be performed, and then they actually do it, and you're like, meh.
Oh.
So that's
that's really nice. Now play Love Gun. All right, Ken, your pick.
All right, so my pick, no particular order. My first pick is Anything for My Baby. From,
why?
Dressed to Kill.
I like it.
I think it's great. I would love to hear that live. I think it would be great live. I think it's a really great song, to tell you the truth. So there you have it. I mean, I think it would translate good live, like a lot of the early songs do. And it's a catchy song, nice song, and I think it needs some love.
Okay. I'm going to go next simply because that's a segue into my first pick.
Oh, okay.
Which was Lover All I Can, which I don't think has gotten enough love in latter years. It was performed in the 70s and has occasionally popped up. But I think right in line with yours, there's that trio of Paul's poppy perfection on Dressed to Kill. Come On and Love Me, Lover All I Can, and Anything for My Baby are just total pop kind of radio-friendly unit shifters, or attempted unit shifters, as the case may be. Daniel.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue into my pick as well, because you forgot one song when you talked about Paul Stanley's perfect, songs from Dressed to Kill. My first pick was actually Room Service, because I think that's one of Paul's best, fun songs from Dressed to Kill. The problem with Dressed to Kill is that many of these songs are so similar. I mean,
Mm.
at times it's almost hard to tell them apart. So he had more songs, like Smoke would be a great addition as well on Dress to Kill, but you can't have too many. So I picked Room Service because I think that's I love Dress to Kill, especially the Paul songs. I think he made some real great tunes on that album. But I actually picked Room Service, but I agree anything for my baby. And what did you say, Julian?
Love Her All I Can, which Lonnie
Love
also
Her All I
has
Can.
as his
But,
number 2 pick.
yeah,
That's
I
right.
think
Lonnie
Love
had-
Her All I
yeah.
Can is more known. That Room Service is like, people don't know about that song, but I think it's a great tune. It's kind of a fun lyric as well. And when you play it to people, they seem to enjoy it. So Room Service. So we have three picks from Dress to Kill to start things off.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think both of you are more valid in terms of overlooked, because Love Her All I Can, I think, would be less overlooked than Anything for
Yeah,
My
I think
Baby or Room Service. Though Room Service is also performed regularly in '75. So that's some good picks. All right, Ken, let's go back to you for your next one.
Okay. My second pick is Let Me Know. From the first album, and it was funny as I picked that yesterday. I didn't pick it today, and then I saw that video of them doing the sound check and doing, part of Let Me Know. I thought, man, that's just so good live. I mean, it would be great if they could do it again. And I know they did it back in the Cruise 3 or whatever and stuff, and it really works. It's really, really a great song that they should have probably kept in their set list throughout the years, and or brought it back more often instead of just totally overlooking it since like 1975 or whatever it was, and they just kind of quit on it. But I think it's great.
And the history behind the song is important as well, as it was, like the fetus of the first song that Paul presented.
Paul played
to Gene.
for Gene, right? Correct.
Sunday Driver.
Sunday Driver, right? There you go.
Hey, there's
Exactly.
an echo in here.
Stereo.
We'll have to split those points on the great KissFAQ quiz. All right. So Lonnie also had that one, which is another good pick. Daniel, how about you?
Okay. Well, first things first. It was such a hard time picking only 5 songs. There are so many hidden gems in the Kiss catalog. So I started from, Monster, and then I worked my way down. So All for the Love of Rock and Roll, I think, is a great song that has been overlooked. Take a Look in the Mirror, Killer, Going Blind, A Million to One, Exciter, Fits Like a Glove, The Oath, Charisma, maybe you could say is an odd pick that hasn't been played, but none of them made my list. So I actually have to pick a song from Asylum, which is an album that I truly enjoy. And this song, I think it was played maybe once or twice, maybe, but it didn't stay in the set list. But it's one of my, I guess, all-time favorite songs, and it's King of the Mountain. Eric Carr is truly represented on this song. The great drum intro. Paul is at the top of his game, making some great vocals on this song, and the theme of the song is so kissish. Try to hit the top of the mountain. Try to, believe in yourself and all that kind of stuff. And also a great solo from Bruce. So Asylum as an album is often overlooked, even though it has gained some how do you say, some
Credibility?
Yeah, exactly, some credibility lately in the later maybe 5 or 10 years. I actually looked at some polls from Firehouse magazine way back, and Asylum didn't get many points. I think it had something has happened during later years, and it gets some love from the fans. So King of the Mountain it is.
I think it's a lack of Kiss releases of studio albums that has benefited some of the catalog, that Kiss fans are so desperate for something. They've gone back and revisited some of the stuff that they maybe rejected previously. I also have a pick from Asylum, so mine is not King of the Mountain. It's Love's a Deadly Weapon, which is a really kind of easy way for me to marry some of the Elder, because that's where it was born, pre-Elder, with Asylum. And it's so damn catchy. Again, it's kind of a poppy song. It's got a swing to it, and I think it would have been really good live. And it has nothing to do with the Double Virgo cover of it. Or no, that was Secretly Cool. So it does have nothing to do with that cover. Yeah, excellent.
That's true.
There we go. So a couple of picks off Asylum.
Good one. Good.
I'll read Lonnie's next pick and then back to Ken. So Lonnie had Take Me, which got a bit of love. It got a bit of love in '77, and then was quickly forgotten, and then ruined on You Want It the Best. Ken.
Ruined on You. Well, the Take Me one, I almost actually that crossed my mind too for my list, but I didn't pick it. So my next pick is like the article out there. It's Larger Than Life. I just think that song is so great, so bombastic, that it would have been just great for them to play that live. It would have been awesome in concert, with the soloing going on in it, and of course, it was on the record. It was Bob Kulick, but I just think Larger Than Life would be an awesome live song that they should have, pulled out and put into their set list at one point, but they didn't do it. I think it's another underrated type song that we forget about from side 2 or side 4 of Alive 2. So love that song. I think it's a good one.
Yeah, nice to get some love for that one, even if it's not one of my picks. Daniel.
I have to second Lonnie because I picked Take Me as well.
Okay.
I think it's one of the better songs off of Rock and Roll Over. I especially like, the riff. Da, 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 ra, da, 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 da. And they haven't played it a lot live. I remember when the Revenge Era lineup played it. They played it once, I think. If you're not counting the convention tour. They played it in '93 at that odd show called the Foundations Forum in '93. They played Take Me, and I thought, man, this is one hell of a tune. And I think the lyrics are kind of fun as well. Put your hand in my pocket to grab onto my rocket and all that. So it's early Kiss. They were Ace was drunk and the rest were full of spunk. It was fun times for them, and I think Take Me is a great representation of the band in the early days, and it's just a kick-ass song, and it works live as well.
Can't argue any of that. Ken.
It's a good pick.
Yeah, why don't you lead us in with Lonnie's last one as well?
Lonnie's okay. I'm surprised he didn't do 5 from this album.
Excuse me.
He did. I'm surprised, really surprised. But I'm even more surprised at the song he chose from the album. So he chose Every Time I Look at You.
No, that's a big surprise.
Which is surprising especially if you're thinking about translating live. But if it's on live unplugged, I think that works really well that way, for sure. But I didn't see that one coming. I thought it was going to be something else from that album. So that's Lonnie's pick. Every Time I Look at You. And So my next is you're almost gonna say it's obvious maybe, but it's from
maybe.
The Elder, music from The Elder, and it's their anthem from the I chose I. I just think that is an appreciated anthem, one of their many anthems. I just think it would be great live. I'd love to hear it live. I think they did play it that one, cruise where they were doing Elder stuff. I think but I think it's a great song, and of course they did it on like Fridays. The old Fridays video you saw back in '81 or '82, whatever it was, and it really did well. So it's just needed a solo. It needed a solo, but I think they could have added a solo live and just do it. So it's again, I think it still stands for me as a great anthem, one of the great anthems that they've written.
Yeah, I think I've missed out on a few picks. I'm like listing some of mine. Sorry, just got a text that my boss had quit. So
Okay.
Awesome.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think he saw my reaction. So yeah, I'm going to throw in a couple of quick picks to get caught up. Not for the Innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Gene. Mean Gene.
Awesome.
I
Mean
think
Gene.
it should be thrown into the set more often to bring in a bit of that menace and darkness, just to give God of Thunder a bit of a break. I think it's overlooked. It had a lot of good, legs in the, 83, I think 84, maybe even up to the Hot in the Shade tour. But since then, it would have been one of those good unmasked songs to add into the set, because I think it's hard to not do it justice. Another quick pick to get caught up as well is off Alive too. It's the one song that I really have always felt should have been. Now, disconnect from what I say, that Ace has kept it alive in his solo set.
Mm.
Rocket Ride, in
Yeah.
relation to Kiss, has been poorly received and sadly overlooked. It was the one single from that album. It should have been in the set at the time, more so in my opinion than Larger Than Life, though both of them equally would have been well performed live by the originals in 77, 78, instead of making that set list what it was and what we're going to see on Des Moines, when that off the soundboard. But Rocket Ride it's just shameful that it was never performed by the original four.
Did you say that Larger Than Life was in the set list?
Should have been, or could have been.
Oh, okay.
Both of those songs could well have
I
been
agree.
performed live in 77,
I agree.
78.
Yeah.
Either of them.
Yeah, both.
So
Both.
is it confirmed that Des Moines is from 77?
Oh, yeah, it's from 77. Yeah,
Okay.
77.
and it's from November.
Yeah, the next. Oh, perfect.
So it's an Alive too, so it doesn't have Take Me, which the January show would have, being Rock and Roll Over.
Too
So it's got
bad.
Let Me Go, Rock and Roll. I don't remember the full set, but it's been out for years as an audience recording. It's garbage, basically. So it'd be really nice if it is, high quality.
Awesome.
Daniel.
Well, if you remember Kiss Killers from 82, Kiss,
It's its 40th anniversary on Saturday.
yeah, I think it's a great compilation. One of the first cassettes I got, I think it was called Cold Gin on that, the version I had. And I didn't know much English, but I knew what gold was, so I thought that was a cool song. But they've been playing Cold Gin. I like that one, first time I heard it. But another song I really enjoyed was one of the songs on the album. I thought Paul sang it so well, and it was such a the verses and the choruses. It was such a, what's it called, contrast between the verses and the choruses, and Paul sang it really well. And it was a song called "Nowhere to Run," which I don't think they have ever performed it outside of the cruise and maybe the convention tour in '95. And it's an overlooked gem, and I think it's a song that people that's not into Kiss could enjoy because it's well written, well performed, and it's just a 10 out of 10 for me.
It's a powerhouse. Ken.
Yeah.
Okay, my last song is matches Julian. Not for the Innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally agree with that song. I think it'd be just a very, like you said, menacing type Gene song in the set list. It's that perfect kind of, not fast or anything, and not totally slow plotting, but it's a slower, heavier riffing and great, vocal, nasty kind of vocal and lyrics, and it's just I don't know how to say it, but it's always been one of my favorite songs off of that album. And I thought, man, that should have been played live, in concert. It might have been played once, I think, at the beginning of the tour. I'm not sure, but I thought I read that somewhere. But yeah, Not for the Innocent is one that is kind of I don't know if it's so much a hidden gem. I mean, I think a lot of people who've heard Look It Up, they know that's one of the better songs on the album, but it still needs to be played live.
And I think it needs to be played live by Gene in makeup. It feels like a makeup song,
Yes.
a demon song.
True. Yeah.
It is a
it would
makeup
work.
song. Because it was recycled from the tail end of the Creature sessions. So,
Mhm.
Rather
That's
than
true.
him doing Christine 16, which is just creepy nowadays, it allows him to be that kind of menacing, but also
Yeah.
have some of that, masculine posturing, lock up your daughters, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So you get to do a little bit of that braggadocious part without being,
Mhm.
when I saw her
Yeah.
coming out of school that day, which just doesn't work
But
anymore.
at this point of time, even Christy 60 is kind of too
60.
young. Yeah.
Yes.
60.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bit squeaky. All right.
Yeah, I
So,
think I have one pick left.
yeah, you do,
Okay.
and so do I.
Yeah.
But why don't you go
Okay.
first then?
Yeah, I can go first. I worked my way from the newest album. I didn't even get to Harder Than Hell because by then I had too many songs. So, but when I went through Animalize, that's the one song that I've always loved. They did play it a few times, I think, in the UK, but it was dropped quite, they didn't play it a lot. And it's I've Had Enough, Into the Fire. Uh, I love the way Mark St. John played the intro, with a fast B, whatever it is. Gene called it an angry B sound. And of course, Paul Stanley vocals in the mid 80s are great. And it's an up tempo song. Great. I like the solo. And Eric Carr is going wild on this one. And on the remasters, you actually hear him. I think the original version I heard, the original tape I had, it was quite hard to hear the drums. I think that was a great improvement when they released those remasters in '97. So if you haven't heard I've Had Enough, Into the Fire from '84, you should go and listen to it right now.
Yes, as Yoda would say. Well, actually, Yoda wouldn't say anything. No, angry bees. That didn't quite work. That's the beer. All right. So my last pick is Ace Goes Pop. Save Your Love.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's a
Something
good one.
off Dynasty. When I looked at some of the albums earlier, it's like, what's obscure? What hasn't been done live? And so much of Unmasked, where he was kind of, carrying more weight than normal, has been performed live. but a lot of his stuff on Dynasty, 2000 Men got done instead, and that just strikes me that Save Your Love is a really good kind of up-tempo song coming from Ace that almost would have been better to keep the Stones cover out, as good as it is. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love, what Ace did with that song. And this is a guy who's listened to Satanic Majesties, I think, 5 times this week. And I like Ace's version way better than the original. But Save Your Love is just one of those, it's a straightforward, it's simple. There's nothing complex about it. I can play it. That's probably why I like it. I tend to like songs that I can hop on the guitar and jam along with, at least until it comes to a lead part, which I can't really do. So I like that, and it's probably the most pop of his Kiss songs.
Have you seen the new release of that tribute album to Ace Frehley? They released it on vinyl.
Oh, Spacewalk?
Save Your Love. Yeah, exactly.
Spacewalk.
Save Your Love is on there. I think it's on there. Sebastian.
It's a bonus track on the Japanese edition. It is not on the vinyl.
Because Sebastian Bach,
Bummer.
I think, was on the original CD.
He did a really good job on it too.
Yeah. Okay. That's too bad.
There you go.
Yeah. So if you're buying the vinyl, Sebastian will not be on Save Your Love on it. At least I don't think.
But I think he did rock bottom, so you get a bit of Sebastian as well.
Oh, joy. Well, there we go. That's our picks of what we think are some of the obscure songs. Daniel's been to a concert this week. Lucky Daniel. A lot of people were in Gothenburg last night. That looked absolutely packed out like a madhouse as well. So I think it's now down to the Germans to give South America a run for crazy Kiss audiences, because the Swedes, or the Scandinavians, because there are a lot of people from Norway and Denmark there as well, really gave it a good accounting of themselves on this run. So if you're going to go see Kiss, you got to show Kiss that you appreciate them. You got to show the South Americans that it's not only South America that goes crazy for these concerts. Oh, cool. You make the party, people, and Kiss will provide the soundtrack. You give them energy, they'll give that energy back to you with, lots of energy. Those never show up on the show.
I know.
They just distract the living shit out of me, Ken. Thanks a lot.
Try to suck me off.
So there we are. What are some of your picks? What are some of the songs that you think are the most obscure Kiss songs that have been overlooked for one reason or another during the band's life? And please let me remember to edit out that part of the show. All right, so that's it for now from Daniel, Ken, and myself, and Lonnie, who couldn't be with us, but thanks for your picks, Lonnie. We appreciate you joining us. We'll see you next time. Thank you for spending time listening to the KissFAQ podcast today. All sales are final. There are no refunds. If you'd like, look us up on Facebook or come over to the KissFAQ message board and discuss the topic we've broadcast today. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes, Spreaker, or wherever you've listened to the show. We hope you'll join us again.